and action. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Taylor and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about personal statements. This is like maybe one of my least favorite parts of the law school admissions process. That being said, there's a lot that goes into it, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't take it seriously. A lot of people get this advice that the personal statement doesn't really matter or weigh as much in your application. Honey, it does. It does matter, okay? It may not weigh as much as your LSAT. It may not weigh as much as your GPA, but it matters, okay? Quick little, let me put in my input. I had multiple schools reach out to me after offering me a scholarship and admissions, and they specifically mentioned things in handwritten letters about my personal statement. So if you think they're not reading them, you're wrong. They are, and it gives you a chance to showcase yourself. So why not make it matter? Make it make sense. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. That's all that I ask for. So this is going to be a little combination of do's and don'ts and just tips in general and how to do this personal statement thing we got going, okay? So let's just get into it. First and foremost, obviously you have to pick a topic. You have to know what you want to talk about, what you're passionate about, what is going to make you sound different than Sue, Sally, and Drew applying to such and such law school. What makes you different, right? So we have to start with the topic. So what you're going to do is you're going to brainstorm. You're going to brainstorm what are your accomplishments? What were trials and tribulations for you? What obstacles did you overcome? What did you succeed at? And make these all recent things, not something that happened when you were 7 necessarily, unless it is life-changing. That's a little bit different. But, you know, more recent obstacles or things or successes, things you've overcome that have made you better and things that have shown that you are good at what you do or what you have done. This topic is really going to showcase your identity. Secondly, keep it positive. And when I say positive, I mean keep it as like a highlight tape. Say you're an athlete and you have your highlight tape and this is what you want to send out to all the college coaches recruiting you because this is where you look good. Your personal statement is your highlight tape, okay? And it's not going to be over, plenty of things over the course of time. It's going to be this one thing that makes you look good. You're going to highlight yourself, highlight your obstacles, humbly brag about yourself is what you're doing. It's the most professional, humble, under control bragging you can do that is going to make this school not even think twice. They're going to want to offer you on the spot. Number 3, be realistic, okay? So they don't want to hear about long, lengthy talking about saving the world or changing every law in the universe. Be realistic. Lawyers are realistic. Lawyers are to the point. They're concise. Keep it real, okay? Talk about something real that you feel like you can do or something real that you feel like you can accomplish. Something not small, but just more accomplishable and makes sense. Next, start early. Like when you're starting this whole process, that's when you want to start your personal statement. This is not some rush, BS, put it all together really quick, it's due in 10 minutes essay. This is something that is important and is going to take time and editing and redoing and all of that great stuff, okay? It's important. So do not rush it. Take the time. It's going to be over the course of months that you're redoing this draft of an essay. That is how it's going to go. And with that, you're also going to need people to read it. And listen, You don't need your, 17-year-old brother that's still in high school to read it and tell you whatever. Like, no. You need somebody that you trust, somebody that is, I don't want to say smart enough because that's kind of offensive, but is warranted to be somebody that can criticize your paper. Somebody that can establish, do you get what I'm trying to say? A grown-up that is intellectually advanced enough to read your essay and criticize it properly and make corrections and suggestions and edits. And you're going to want to have 2 to 3 people read it over and make some suggestions for you. And then you're going to edit it maybe 5 or 6 times over until it's almost perfect, damn near perfect. Sentence structure and grammar and all those things, that matters. Law school is a lot about writing. Law writing is very different than your everyday writing, so it's very important that things make sense and that they're written properly and that the grammar is okay. If the grammar is not okay, that could really shut down a lot of people. They can just be like, all right, I'm done reading this essay because this grammar or whatever was wrong. Another part of that is keeping your sentence structure concise. So you do not want long, lengthy, long-winded sentences all throughout your paper and it just seems like you're rambling. As a lawyer and as somebody that is reviewing you and, essentially deciding if you're going to go to their law school and become a lawyer from their law school, they want concise sentences that mean something. You want to get to the point in each sentence and make your whole essay just get to the point. What matters, why it matters, and make it hit hard. Next, mention something new about yourself. You're telling a story. This is what your personal statement is. It's a story about yourself, about a situation, and make it new. Don't reiterate things from your resume. Don't reiterate things from the application. It has to be something new that you can talk about that the admissions counsel or whoever is, reading your essay hasn't already heard somewhere else. It's not black and white. This is an opportunity for you to make yourself look good and give them something new to know about you and something that's going to make you stand out from the thousands of other applicants that they have that they're reading about as well. Talk about who you are, what your goals are. If diversity is a major factor in your life, whatever that diversity may be, talk about that. Talk about it to a longer extent, not that just, you're this shade or this background. Like, make it so that this specific circumstance is different than other people's. If the specific institution asks you specific questions or gives you a specific prompt that isn't, just talk about something, make sure you answer those questions. What you do not want to do is ramble and go off topic and disregard the instructions. Being able to follow instructions properly is also important and something that they're looking at. So if they tell you to do something specifically, do what they ask of you. Also, do not try to write in 10-point font if it asks for 12-point font. Don't try to write in Calibri or whatever if they ask for Times New Roman. Do it how they ask you to do it. Bottom line. Something else that a lot of people don't realize or they don't tell you is that in the beginning of any essay that you turn in, any extra documents that you turn into each school, make sure and make a header for the page, and in the header you have your first name and last name and your LSAC number. Your L number, whatever you have, it'll be on the LSAC website. That should be in your header on any additional documents that you're turning in. So your personal statement, a diversity statement, an addendum, whatever it may be, first name, last name, L number. Reference the institution that you're writing this for. So yes, you can make a general personal statement just about yourself and then critique it for each school and add something about the school. One, it shows the law school that, you know, you're interested in them. You know something about them. It brings something different. So that's important. Reference to law school. I personally did not do that. I did not write a different personal statement for each school or change certain, you know, I didn't actually say anything about the actual schools in my personal statement. Granted, I still got into law school, so it's all good. I still got into a good law school. So, you know, but if I could do it over and I were to write my personal statements again, I think it would have been beneficial to definitely add things about the school in my personal statement, certain programs or stats about their school that would enhance my essay and show that I really cared about their school and I'm not just sending in this, you know, cookie cutter personal statement to everybody. Also, with that being said, talk about what you care about and mention your areas of interest. So basically, you're going to take your story, whatever you're writing about, and then tie it into law and how it correlates to what you want to do in law. How did this story, this obstacle, make you want to do law? Talk about what that means to you, how it relates to the law, how it relates to how, you know, how you decided to become a lawyer. Did a specific situation at your job, you know, spark something like, you know, I need to become a lawyer because this, and this doesn't sit right with me. And if you kind of tie it back to things that matter to you, it's much easier to write about. And it also, you know, makes sense and highlights why you want to do law and why you want to go to law school. And lastly, tell them what you bring to the table. What can you bring to their law school that's going to make their law class better? What is going to make them say, when they're an alumni of this school, they're doing X, Y, and Z and they make us look good? So what do you bring? Don't be a cliche. Make sure you're standing out. Make sure you are clear, concise, and succinct about what your focus is, what your goal is, what you did, and just give it to them. Give it to them straight, and that's the best way it will go over well. And as for structure, your first sentence matters. That is like if your first sentence is not good or is not eye-catching, you it's I'm not gonna say it's over with, but like you're not gonna get the right attention and you're not gonna get the right interest in anybody to read your story. So make your first sentence short and clear and something that makes the reader want to continue on reading. With any good book, think about like a good book. If the beginning of the book is not good, you're bored and you're over it. So don't make your essay boring. Make that first sentence punch. And just to give you guys a little idea, I'll tell you what I wrote my essay about. So I wrote my essay about the obstacles and the different trials I went through being a Division I collegiate athlete. And that's something specific to me that already breaks down, you know, my niche a little bit smaller, because how many people applying to law school were also Division I athletes? There are people, obviously, but how many? It's a much smaller number. So that's something that, all right, I already eliminated a good amount of people that can't talk about this. Okay, so I talk about that, right? And then I talk about my specific situation, how I overcame certain things, how they made me better. And I also highlighted, you know, things I was doing while I was also in law school. I was doing this and I was doing this. I mean, law school, I'm so dumb. Undergrad. And I was doing this and this, and I went through this, this, and this while doing my sport. And it, you know, these things were very hard for me, and I overcame these specific obstacles and they made me better. And also this specific thing that I went through fueled my want to do law and how it relates to the specific law I want to do. So that's kind of what I talked about. I did talk about mental health battles And, you know, somebody once said, I'm not going to name names here, but somebody once said that you shouldn't talk about mental health in your personal statement because it makes you look like weak, or like it doesn't make you look, that doesn't make you look good, and that it is like just not something to talk about. And I disagree. Plain and simple, I disagree. If there's something that's so prominent in your life and has really changed you or has really hindered you in many ways, and you feel like that is a part of who you are and you need to tell people that and you need to tell that story, talk about it, okay? Don't let anybody tell you that like that's too sad or that's too this and that's, no. That's something that is a part of me that I wanted to talk about, and something that was a very important part of my life that shaped me, and also now has given me the confidence to apply to law school, go to law school, get into law school, get into, you know, like this is important. So don't let anybody tell you differently, okay? If it's important to you and you can write about it, write about it. Plain and simple. And that is all I have for you guys today. I hope these tips and do's and don'ts were helpful for you. If you haven't started your personal statement, get going. What are you waiting for? Get it going. Start that personal statement. Knock it out the park. I believe in you. Just do it. Like Nike, just do it. Also, if anyone was wondering, this is a, oh, it's dripping on me. This is an venti iced matcha green tea latte with coconut milk and vanilla sweetener. My go-to. If you haven't had it, you're asleep. Wake up. If you don't like it, you're a baby, like my friend Lindsay. Mature your taste buds, sis. Okay, anyway, thank you guys for watching my video today. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, send it to your friends. Follow me on my socials, my Instagram, my Twitter. Go ahead. I love talking to you guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment or DM me and let's chat, okay? Thank you guys so much. I love you. Goodbye.